Chapter 30, in which a lover of handsome youths seeks a friend in divine pleasure temple, and a splendid contest is held at Carefree Lake. Tu Shin-ching and Chi Wei-Hi-Xiao took to each other at once, but because Chi had rooms in the Temple of Imperial Favor, he had to hurry back into town as soon as it grew dark, while Pao Ting-Hi-Si went back with Tu, who brought wine for him. "What kind of man is Chi Wei-Hi-Xiao?" asked Tu. Ting-Si described how Chi had been placed first in the prefectural examination by Prefect He-sung, and later married a granddaughter of the prefect's steward, Wang, thus becoming his own nephew. Now, how this year's Inspector He-sun of the Salt Gavel had given him several hundred taels, and now he had married into the Yu family at Yangchao. He told the whole story in full, and Tu smiled as he drank it all in. He kept Ting-Hi-Si there for the night, was very moved when he heard how good Prefect He-sung had been to the Pao family, and roared with laughter when Ting-Hi-Si described the marriage to Mrs. Wang and the life she had led him. Finally, they went to sleep. The next morning, Chi Wei-Hi-Xiao called on Sung Chi, who had served in the prince's palace. After the customary greetings, Mr. Sung declared that while with the Prince of Chao, he had written poems with the 7 famous scholars of the capital, whereupon Tu remarked that 2 of them were his uncles. Then mention was made of a 3rd scholar, Xiang Su-hang. "Senior Secretary Xiang was my father's classmate," said Tu. But when Mr. Sung declared that he and Secretary Sung were kinsmen of the same generation, Tu made no reply. Presently tea was served, after which Mr. Xiang left, while Chi remained behind to chat. "Wei-Hi-Xiao," said Tu, "nobody irritates me more than these people who can talk about nothing except their official connections. Just now this fellow Sung said that he was the senior secretary's cousin. I am afraid Secretary Sung would disown such a miserable cousin." Lunch was served, and as they were at table, the servant boy came in. "Bigfoot Shin is here to see you, sir," he announced. "She is waiting outside." "Show her in," said Tu. "What does it matter?" When the go-betweens came in, Tu had a stool placed for her. "Who is this gentleman?" asked Bigfoot. "This is Mr. Chi of Anqing. Well, have you done what I asked you yet?" "That's why I'm here, sir. After you entrusted this matter to me, I searched nearly the whole of Nanking for you, because you're such a handsome gentleman that I felt just any pretty girl wouldn't do for you. Now, thanks to all the inquiries I've been making, I found a girl who lives at the Flower Ark, whose family has a few looms. Their name is Wang. They're as pretty as a picture, prettier. And this lovely girl, who's 17 this year, has a brother 1 year younger. If he were properly dressed and made up, not one of the female impersonators in the 10 Huiching Bridge companies could compare with her. He can sing and act a little too. This girl is perfect for you. Won't you have a look at her, sir?" "Very well," said Tu. "Tell her to be ready for me tomorrow." Assenting to this, Bigfoot left. "Congratulations," said she. "I am doing this simply to continue my family line, sir," replied Tu with a frown. "If not for the necessity of that, why should I take a concubine?" "A brilliant scholar and a beautiful girl," quoted she. We should enjoy ourselves while we are young. I fail to understand your attitude, sir." "You don't know me, Wei-Hi-Xiao," said Tu. "As our first emperor said, if not for the fact that I was born of a woman, I would kill all the women in the world. Have you ever met a woman you could respect? I assure you, they affect me so painfully. I can smell a woman 3 rooms away." Before Chi could question him further, the boy brought in a visiting card. "A Mr. Kuo from Wuhu has called," he announced. "I don't think I know any Kuo from Wuhu," said Tu. Chi looked at the card. "This is Kuo Tianpi. He has a seal shop at the temple gate," he said. "He's probably cut 2 seals for you. You'd better ask him in." Tu told his servant to admit the visitor, and in came Kuo Tianpi. Having bowed, he embarked on a most fulsome speech. "Your distinguished family can boast 3 sons who came first in the examinations," he declared. "You produce 6 ministers in 4 generations, and your pupils and former dependents are to be found everywhere. There are more of them serving as provincial governors, judges, and other high officials than anyone can count. Even your stewards, when they leave you, become officers of the 9th rank. When I was a child, I heard them say, 'Mr. Tu's son is the greatest genius the world has ever known. In no time at all, he will come first in the palace examination.' Taking a small silk-lined box containing 2 square seals from his sleeve, he presented it with both hands to Tu, who accepted it, made conversation with Ku for a time, then stood up to see him out. "Why did you have to talk in that disgusting way?" exclaimed Tu on his return. "That fellow had all his facts right, though." "Your family history is common knowledge," said she. Tu kept Chi for a meal, and when the wine was served, they began to talk freely. "Are you fond of climbing or visiting rivers and lakes?" asked Chi. "My health is not up to it," replied Tu. "I find climbing mountains or visiting lakes too strenuous." "Are you a music lover?" "I like to listen to music occasionally, but if I hear it too often, it jars on my ears." A few more cups and Tu was a little tipsy. "Wei He Xiao," he said, and heaved a long sigh. "Since ancient times, men have been the slaves of love." "No love is greater than that between the sexes," replied Chi. "Yet just now you said you have no interest in women." "And love is confined to that between is love confined to that between men and women? No, the love of friends is stronger. Just look at the story of the Lord of Nego and his embroidery coverlet. And in all history, I consider Emperor Ai of Han, who wanted to abdicate in favor of his friend, showed the truest understanding of love. Yao and Shun were no better than this, for all their polite deferring to others. But what a pity that no one understands this lofty love today." True, rejoined Chi. "Have you never had a friend who really understood you? If I could live and die with such a man, I would not be grieving and pining away like this. But I have not been lucky enough to find a true friend, and that is why I often give way to melancholy." "You should look for a friend among the actors." "That proposal is even more wide off the mark, Wei He Xiao. To seek a true friend among actors is like looking for a grand romance in the courtesan's quarter. Nothing could be more impossible. No, they alone deserve unqualified praise who require a spiritual affinity and a friendship transcending the flesh. Their friends must be some of the greatest men of the time." He struck his knee and sighed. "But there's no such man in the world. No, heaven has condemned gallant Tu Shinching to pine away alone." With this he shed a tear. "Why, the man is possessed," thought Chi. "Let me play a trick on him." "You mustn't say there is no such man in the world, sir," he said. "I know a young man who is neither an actor nor a scholar, but a Taoist priest. He is handsome and elegant, but not in any feminine way. His is true masculine beauty. It always irritates me to hear people praise a handsome man by declaring he looks like a woman. How ridiculous. Anyone who likes feminine beauty can look at a woman. But there is a masculine beauty, too, which is seldom recognized." "A truer word was never spoken," cried Tu, clapping the table. "But tell me more about this man." "He is so fastidious that, although many people have tried to make friends with him, he holds himself aloof. He loves genius, though. Because I am a few years older than he is, I don't feel good enough for him, so I have never ventured to make any advances. Would you care to meet him, brother? When can you bring him here?" "He wouldn't be the extraordinary man I said he was if I could bring him over just like that. You must call on him yourself." "Where does he live?" "In Divine Pleasure Temple." "What is his name?" "I can't tell you that now. If word of this came to his ears, he would keep out of your way and you would never get to see him. I'll write his name on a piece of paper and give it to you sealed, but you mustn't open it till you reach the gate of Divine Pleasure Temple. If you open it there, you'll have no difficulty in finding him." "Very well," agreed Tu with a laugh. Chi Wei He Xiao went inside, closed the door, and wrote for some time, sealed up his paper carefully, and inscribed a Taoist magic formula on it. He gave this to Tu. "I will leave you now," he said. "After you have seen this marvelous man, I shall come back to congratulate you." His host saw him out. "You must take a message to Bigfoot Shin tomorrow morning," Tu told his servant. "Tell her I have no time to go see the girl at Flower Arch, but will go the day after tomorrow. And call the chair-bearers tomorrow morning. I am going to Divine Pleasure Temple to see a friend." The next morning he washed with soap, changed into new clothes, and scented himself lavishly. Then, Chi Wei He Xiao's paper in his sleeve, went by seat and chair to Divine Pleasure Temple. He left the chair at the gate and stepped over the threshold to open Chi's note. "Go to Cassia Pavilion at the end of the north corridor," he read, "and ask for Lai He Si Shi, who is newly arrived from Yangchao. He is your man." Tu ordered his chair-bearers to wait and took a winding path through the temple grounds. From a building in front he heard the sound of music, and through the open doors could see 3 more rooms. In a central room sat a eunuch in charge of the imperial tombs, dressed in a dragon-embroidered gown. A dozen actors on the benches to his left and 7 or 8 young acolytes on the benches to his right were singing and playing musical instruments. "Can Lai He Se Shi be here?" wondered Tu. He took a good look at the young Taoists in turn, but none of them were particularly handsome. Then he looked at the players, but they were quite commonplace too. Lai He Say She has too much self-respect to mix with a group like this, he decided. I must go to Cassia Pavilion to find him. Arrived at Cassia Pavilion, he knocked on the door, and a priest invited him in and gave him a chair. I have come to call on Mr. Lai, who recently arrived from Yangchao, said Tu. He is upstairs, replied the priest. Please wait here, sir, while I fetch him. He went away, and presently a fat priest came downstairs. He wore a Taoist cap and a brown robe, and had a dark, greasy face, bushy eyebrows, a big nose, and thick beard, and looked over 50. He bowed to Tu and sat down. May I know your name and where you come from, he asked. I am from Tian Chang, and my name is Tu. Do you belong to the Honorable Tu family of Tian Chang, which gave us such a handsome donation? I do. The Taoist's face broke into a smile. I did not know you were here, sir, or I would have called to pay my respects, he said obsequiously. How dare I put you to the trouble of visiting me, sir? He immediately called for fresh tea and refreshments. This must be Lai He Say She's master, thought Tu. Is Lai He Say She your pupil, he asked, or your pupil's son? I am Lai He Say She. Tu gave a start. What? You were Lai He Say She? He could not help himself. Hiding his face in his sleeve, he shook with laughter. The mystified Taoist placed refreshments on the table and busied himself with the tea. Then he produced a volume of poems from his sleeve and asked for Tu's criticism. The young man had to read the poems, but after 2 bowls of tea, he rose to go. Lai insisted on walking hand in hand with him to the main entrance, where he asked, Do you live at the Temple of Kindness Repaid, sir? I will come tomorrow to spend a few days with you. He saw Tu ride out and watched his chair leave before turning back himself. As for Tu, he laughed all the way back. That dog Chi Wei He Xiao, he thought. What a liar he is. As soon as he reached home, his servant announced that visitors were waiting for him. Tu went in and found He Xiao Chun Shi, and found He Xiao Chin He Sun, He Sun Tung Chi, Chin Yu Li, Chin Yu Lu, and Chin Tung Ya. Mr. He Sin presented himself with some calligraphy, Chin Yu Li with a couplet, and Chin Tung Ya with a copy of his commentaries on the 4 books, asking for his criticism. After they had sat down and explained the reasons for their coming, tea was served and they left. Tu snorted. A Yamen clerk, he said to the boy, and he leaves his post to take up the interpretation of the classics. Is it for fellows like this to write commentaries on the works of the sages? As he was speaking, a boy arrived with a letter from Mr. Sung, asking Tu to append some characters to a portrait. Exasperated as he was, Tu had to consent, and he wrote a note for the lad to take back. The next day he went to see the girl, decided to take her as his concubine, and gave the betrothal presents, arranging for her to be brought to his house within 3 days. Moving to a house by the river to receive her kept him busy. The next day, Chi Wei He Xiao called to offer his congratulations, and Tu went out to greet him. Excuse me for not coming yesterday to congratulate you on your marriages, said she. I did not prepare for guests today, replied Tu. Did you find that marvelous man the day before? You dog, you deserve a beating, but I'll let you off because your trick was not too vulgar. Why do I deserve a beating? I told you he had a masculine, not feminine beauty. You can't deny that, can you? I'm really going to give you a beating now, he said. While they were laughing, the Taoist arrived with Ting He Se to offer congratulations, and Tu and Chi were hard put to it not to laugh. But Tu sighed to his friend and kept quiet. They all exchanged greetings, and Tu kept his guests to a meal. After the meal, Tu mentioned the eunuch he had seen in Divine Pleasure Temple, with actors on his left and acolytes on his right, singing and playing with him. Why should a man like that have all the luck? Asked Chi. It's too bad. I want to consult you, Wei He Xiao, said Tu, about a rather amusing scheme I have in mind. What is it? How many opera companies are there, Ting He Si, by Westwater Gate and along the riverside? Over 130. I want to choose a date and hire a big place for a contest, at which all the men who play girls' parts shall perform a scene each. Wei He Xiao and I will watch them and take notes of each. A few days later we will publish a list of their marks, ranking them according to their looks and acting. We'll post these results in some public place. We can't ask them to come for nothing, though. We'll give each actor 50 cents, 2 new pouches, and a fan inscribed with poems. Wouldn't that be amusing?" "Why didn't you tell me this wonderful idea earlier?" cried she, leaping up. "This is too marvelous for words." "Let me go and notify them," said Ting Hisi, smiling. "They'll get 50 cents each, and when you gentlemen have marked them and posted up the results, they'll be famous. I shouldn't be saying this, but the truth is, whoever comes out high on the list, even though he's had a powerful patron all along, will be able to make his patron cough up more. They'll be falling over each other in their eagerness to come." Finally, Lai Xiao Shi clapped his hands. "Even I shall be seeing life. Will you gentlemen allow me to present on that day?" "Of course," replied Tu. "We shall be sending invitations to all our friends." "Please decide on the place first," suggested she. "I live at Westwater Gate and know the district outside the gate very well," said Ting Hisi. "Let me hire the pavilion in Carefree Lake for you. It's large and cool." "Uncle Pal will go and tell the actors, that goes without saying," said she. "But we'd better write a notice too. Which day is it to be?" "It's the 20th of the 4th month now," said Lai. "It will take Mr. Pal some time to notify everyone, so we must allow a couple of weeks for that." "What about the 3rd of next month?" "Fetch a red card, Wei He Xiao," said Tu. "I'll dictate an announcement for you." Chi fetched a card and took up his brush. "This is to announce that Chi Wei He Xiao of Anqing and Tu Xin Qing of Tianqing are holding a contest in the pavilion of Carefree Lake on the 3rd of the 5th month," said Tu. "Any actor in this province who wishes to take part should hand in his name and come to the lake at the time appointed to act any scene of his choice. Each participant will receive 50 cents, 2 pouches, a fan inscribed with a poem, and a handkerchief. Those whose appearance and performance are outstanding will receive additional prizes. The contest will not be cancelled for rain or bad weather." This notice was given to Pao Ting Hisi, and the boy was sent to buy over 100 fans, which were inscribed by Chi and Tu Lai. Which were inscribed by Chi, Tu, and Lai. When they decided on their guest, Chi spread a sheet of red paper on the table and wrote, "Mr. Sung, Mr. Heesun, Mr. Chin Tung Ya, Mr. Chin Yulu, Mr. Hisao Chin Hisun, Mr. Chu Ko, Mr. Chi, Qao TNP, the prior, Mr. Lai Hisun Shi, Mr. Lai Hisa Shi, Mr. Pao." With the 2 hosts, this made 13 altogether, so 11 invitation cards were written in the names of Chi and Tu. They had been busy with these preparations for some time, when in came the concubine's brother, Wang Luo Ko. With him was a porter carrying gifts for his sister: 2 ducks, 2 chickens, 1 goose, 1 piece of pork, 8 varieties of cakes and wine. "You have come just at the right time," exclaimed Tu. As the lad greeted him, Tu took him by the arm and looked him over. Sure enough, he was a beautiful boy, better looking than even Tu's concubine. Tu told him to come back after seeing his sister, and ordered the servants to dress the fowl he had brought. Upon Wang Luo Ko's return, Tu told him of their plan for a contest in the lake pavilion. "How splendid!" cried Luo Ko. "I shall take part too. Won't you sing us something today as well?" suggested Chi. Wang Lu Ko laughed. That evening, when they had drunk some wine, Pao Ting Hisi played his flute, and Lai Hisa Shi beat the clappers as Luo Ko sang the farewell at the pavilion from the western chamber. The air was a charming one, and he sang for the time it takes to eat 3 meals. The party did not break up till all were drunk. On the day appointed, 2 property boxes were taken to Carefree Lake. Chi and Tu as hosts arrived first, then the guests assembled, and Pao Ting Hisi brought about 6 dozen actors playing women's parts, who had put down their names for the contest to pay their respects to Mr. Tu. Tu bade them have a meal and then dressed up and walked through the pavilion so that the judges could have a look at them, and finally go up the stage to perform. The players assented and left. The scholars, looking around the pavilion, saw that it had windows on all 4 sides and was surrounded by water. A soft wind had raised ripples on the lake. After putting on their costumes, the actors were to cross the bridge to the pavilion. Tu ordered the middle door to be closed, so that the actors, when they had crossed the bridge, should go round by the corridor to the latticed gate at the east, and then through the pavilion to leave by the gate on the west. In this way, the spectators could see them clearly and judge of their charm and looks. When the actors had finished their meal, they put down their costumes and makeup. They were all wearing brand new headdresses and jackets. One by one, they crossed the bridge and walked around the pavilion while Tu and Chi, who had paper brushes concealed in their hands, made notes. Soon the feast was served. Each music sounded as the first actor ascended the stage. One acted the feast, another the drunken singer, yet others borrowing tea or killing the tiger. No two scenes were the same. Wang Liu Ko presented the nun longs for earthly pleasures. When night fell, hundreds of lamps were lit, high and low, making everything as bright as day. And the melodious singing lingered in the air. Rich Yamen officials, merchants and shopkeepers in the city, hearing of the contest, hired fishing boats, fixed up awnings, and hung up lanterns, then had themselves rowed to the middle of the lake to watch. When they were pleased, they applauded and cheered. This went on till dawn, by which time the city gates were open and they went home. A day later, the results were posted up outside Westwater Gate. First on the list was Cheng Kue Kwan of the Fragrant Wood Company. Second, Ko Lai Kuan of the Divine Harmony Company. Third, Wang Lu Ko. The remaining 60-odd actors were listed in order of merit. When Pao Ting Hise took Chen Kuan to call on Tu and thank him, Tu gave Pao 2 taels of gold to take to the silversmith and have them made into a gold cup with the inscription, "Brighter than Cherry Chin." This cup was the actor's prize. All the others received pouches, silver, handkerchiefs, and fans. When the men who were friends and the first 10 actors on the list saw the notice, they were delighted. Some of them invited their protégés home to celebrate. Others gave parties in honor of the occasion in taverns. One feast followed another, and festivities continued for 3 or 4 days. News of this traveled from Westwater Gate to Huangqing Bridge, and the fame of the 17th Mr. Tu spread throughout the Yangtze Valley. But to know what followed, you must read the next chapter.